Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. In this video, I want to look at what, with the new year, what we normally are doing, which is, looking back at what we did or didn't accomplish in last year and what do we want to accomplish this year. So one thing I want you to be thinking about, because I'm doing this in all parts of my life, my work, my health, my family, you name it. And definitely in the work I'm doing with colleges, I'm thinking about, okay, what did we accomplish last year? What did we not? What do we want to do better? What do we want to do different? What didn't quite go as well as we wanted? And we think about that when we close out a year. We think about the good and the bad. Sometimes will do this with my kids. I'll say, what's your rose, what's your thorn? What was your high for the year and what was your low? Even in the pandemic, in this time, there are still things that we're having that are happening that are positive, even though there are still things that are happening that can be negative. Progress is being made in a variety of different aspects. So one thing I would encourage you to do this year, especially if you're in the realm of wanting to improve, say, student outcomes or your math classes, your instruction, your assessment, whatever it is, graduation rates, whatever it is that you want to see happen, before you dive in and start doing things, I always say it's good, set a goal. What is your goal and make it tangible? And although we hear this advice everywhere, it's really important to do it, to actually let's establish where I'm at today and where do I want to get to and when. Okay, so what is it that your goal is? So maybe you're a faculty member and you're thinking, my goal is this year I want to do something actually different with my assessment. I'm not happy with what I've been doing with it, and I'd like to try something different. So come up with something that you can do and make it tangible. Give yourself a goal. Like, what is something that I could do? What's a goal of mine? Because, like improving assessment, that's really broad. Okay. So in that, what's something you would like to do? So one of the things I set for myself was this last fall, I really wanted to do equity focused assessment. I wanted to try something new. So with one class, and even when I was teaching, I'm not, I full-time run my business, so I don't teach 5 classes a semester. Even when I did not make changes in all my classes. I would pick a class, even maybe I had more than one section of it, but say I would pick a class and I would make some changes in it and measure them, take notes and see what was working and what wasn't. I didn't try to bite all of it off and try to make changes to everything all the time, because that just gets a little bit overwhelming and really, really hard to sustain. So what I would encourage you is think about, okay, what is it that you want to accomplish? Maybe it's, I want to improve my assessment, and pick something that you can do to make a change. And the change needs to be enough that it'll cause you to do some work. It'll cause you to do some thinking. It's gonna push you a little bit, but not so much that it's insurmountable and it becomes something all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's no way I can do that. So one of the things that I did this past fall was I pushed myself to have a comprehensive project instead of a final exam for my stats class. And the idea was that the students were going to experience statistics and have to actually do something with statistics. And I had all kinds of reservations about it, that, they wouldn't be able to do well, or things that I'd seen in previous semesters that, with projects, I was just like, oh, I was a little bit gun shy, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try this and I'm going to see, and I'm going to just try to see what happens. And so what I'm going to do in the next video, I'm going to tell you more about that, how that, what happened with that experience, and some things that worked and didn't work. But I'll go ahead and give you the punchline. It worked in the end. It was a really good result. It doesn't mean everything along the way was great and perfect, but I tried something new, and I do feel like when I got to the end, I was like, oh, I did accomplish something, even though I didn't accomplish everything that I wanted to. But to get there, I had to start. So let's circle back to the goal of this, what we're trying to talk about. Start with figuring out where you're at right now. Look at whatever facet, again, teaching, your placement, your outcomes, your equity gaps, whatever. Pick something, like one thing, and get a baseline of where are you at today? What is an issue that you're seeing? One issue. And what is one thing that you want to try to improve that? Figure out when you want to try to do that. And that's all. Just start with that. When do you want to try to do that one thing? And another day you can go and actually start tackling in the details. But for today, just figuring out where it is you're at, where you'd like to get to, and maybe one thing you'd like to try to help you get there. That's a lot. And if you accomplish that, you'll feel very satisfied. So I would encourage you to do that. And I would encourage you to come back for our next video, where I'll actually talk about those changes that I did make with assessment and what actually happened with those. And one of the emotions that just comes along with change, it always comes along for the ride. So we'll talk about that more next time.